Okay, making this to give you a little help with homework. All right, so the first set of problems ask you for molar ratios. Remember, molar ratios are coefficients. So these are the coefficients. Right. So when we look at propane to oxygen, my ratio is simply 2, because that's good for propane, and oxygen is 13. Right, so if I look at oxygen to water, right, so again that's oxygen to water, right, so that's 13, and then water is 10. Right, so that's all you're doing, is you're writing the coefficients down. For E, we're looking at propane again, to water again. So I get 2 to 10, or it's okay if you reduce this and you write 1 to 5, same thing. All right, pretty easy. So we'll move on. The next asks me how many moles, right? So this, my start is actually here, and my finish is the how many, find the, determine, right? So whatever has a numerical value is usually my start, and my finish is the question. So if you look at the roadmap here, I'm starting here, and I'm finishing here because I have moles and moles. Right, so a pretty easy equation. We'll simply just do this. I'll leave room for my molar ratio, and I've got and I'm trying to find oxygen. I want to get rid of my potassium chloride. And then I look at my equation, I find my moles. So oxygen is 3, potassium chloride is 2. Right? And when I do that, I get 18 moles. Oops. I get 18 moles. About 2, right? Because my potassium chloride canceled out. Right, so that should be pretty easy. Right, for the next set, right, so how many grams, right? So if we look at this again, this has to be my start, right, and this is my finish because it's the question how many. Right, so I'm going from K to KCl. So if I look up here, all right, let me erase this. So my given is in grams. So my start have to be at mass, and my ending is grams mass. So remember, number of equations I need. I need 1 equation there. I need 2. I need 3 separate equations to get this done. Right, so my first equation is a mass to mole. So I go mass to mole, I got 2.50 grams. Okay. I'll go mole, and my K is 39.10 grams. So I'm going to write my answer here. So my answer is 0.0639. Okay. So I'm going to write my answer there, and it just becomes the start of my next equation, right? Because my mole is the start of my next equation. So I'm trying to go from there to KCl. I got to get rid of the K. Remember, I'm going to have a third equation, so I'm just going to go ahead and do that. If I look up here at my equation here, I got a coefficient of 2 there, and a coefficient of 2 there. So fairly easy. So I'm going to get 0.0639 moles of KCl. And now I want to go to grams. So mole. Alright, so my molar mass of KCl is 74.55 grams. When I multiply that out, I get 4.77 grams KCl. I have three equations here. Now the answer to each problem becomes the start of the next equation. So mass to mole, right? So my answer mole becomes the start of my mole to mole. When I do my mole becomes the start of my mole to mass. So that's how you do stoichiometry problems. Pretty easy, right? And you should be able to follow that same format for the rest of them. Right? I'm not going to solve the rest, but I can help you read. Right? So if you look at this next one, make sure that's working. If I look at the next one, right? How many grams of sodium hydroxide from units? So this has a number, so this is going to be my start and my finish. So if I come up to my roadmap here, now my start is particles, right? And what was it asking me for finish? How many grams? So my finish is here. So remember, if I'm going from particles to mole, I'm going to have to use Avogadro's number. Remember that was 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd. So I have to divide that, right, by Avogadro's number. When I go to moles, I do my mole to mole and my mole to mass. All right, so for my next one, right, so I have two questions here. Right, what mass of iron do I have to react with 16 grams of sulfur? Right, so this is going to be my start and my finish. Right, and then I have a second question here. How many moles of iron sulfate are produced? Right, again, this is my start and my finish. They're two separate problems. Okay. All right. And then I have my last problem over there. Okay. So anyway, good luck on this today. And then I'll talk to you soon.